The evening sky turned purple as Ji-ho Kim wiped sweat from his forehead. After 5 years of saving every credit, he finally owned this small patch of land on the edge of New Seoul Colony. It wasn't much, but it was his. The soil was red and dusty, nothing like the rich earth of old Earth. But Ji-ho knew he could change that. He patted his terraforming machine with pride. It wasn't the newest model, but he had bought it second-hand from a retiring farmer. The machine hummed as it mixed earth nutrients into the alien soil. Ji-ho smiled as he thought about the Korean vegetables he would grow here. Crunchy kimchi, cabbage, spicy peppers, and sweet potatoes. Just wait, he told the barren ground. Soon you will be full of life. As darkness fell, Ji-ho noticed something odd. Lights flickered in the sky, different from the usual shuttle traffic. These lights moved in strange patterns, coming closer. Ji-ho stopped his machine and watched, his heart beating faster. The lights grew bigger until he could see they belonged to a ship unlike any human vessel. It was smooth and shiny, with curves that seemed to bend in impossible ways. The ship hovered over his land, making no sound at all, then slowly came down about 50 meters from where Ji-ho stood frozen. "This can't be happening," Ji-ho whispered. Humans had been on this planet for 30 years, but had never made contact with any alien life forms. A door opened in the side of the ship. Light poured out, and a figure stepped onto his land. Ji-ho couldn't move as the being walked toward him. It looked almost human, but not quite. Taller, with skin that shimmered slightly and eyes larger than any human's. The alien wore what looked like flowing silver clothes that moved even when the air was still. "You will stop your activities immediately," the alien said in perfect Korean, though its mouth didn't seem to move exactly like a human's would. "I am Kyra, representative of the Galactic Council. You are tampering with protected cosmic resources." Ji-ho found his voice. "This is my land. I bought it fair and square. I'm just preparing it for farming." Kira held up a small device. It glowed and made a soft chirping sound. "I have alerted your authorities. Your actions here are forbidden." Before Ji-ho could argue more, he heard the familiar sound of a security hoverbike. Officer Hana Park arrived, her uniform crisp and her face serious. She was known in the colony for being strict but fair. Today, though, she looked at Ji-ho like he was a criminal. "Mr. Kim," she said, not even greeting him properly. "Step away from your equipment." "Officer Park, I don't understand. I have all the permits for this land, and for my terraforming machine. Everything is legal." Hana didn't smile. "The situation has changed." She looked at the alien with a mixture of awe and nervousness. "Is this the one?" Kira nodded. "This human is disrupting the field. The readings are clear." "What field?" Ji-ho asked. "And what readings? This is my property." Hana put her hand on her stunner, though she didn't draw it. "Mr. Kim, according to our visitor, you've purchased land that should never have been sold. There's something important beneath the soil here." Ji-ho looked down at the red dirt. "Like, what minerals? If there's something valuable, no one told me when I bought it." "Not minerals," Kira said. "Something much more significant. An artifact from those who came before." Hana's eyes widened. "An ancient artifact? Here?" Kira pointed to Ji-ho's terraforming machine. "Your primitive device is sending vibrations through the ground that are activating dormant systems that must remain inactive until the proper time." Ji-ho felt lost. Just hours ago, his biggest worry had been getting his soil ready for planting season. Now an alien was telling him his land held some kind of ancient technology. "I didn't." "No," Ji-ho said. "How could I know?" "Ignorance is not an excuse," Kira replied coldly. "This site has been marked in the cosmic records for thousands of years." Hana stepped between them. "Our colony has no record of any artifacts here. This area was surveyed and cleared for settlement 20 years ago." Kira's large eyes narrowed. "Then your surveys were inadequate. The energy signature is unmistakable." The alien held out its device, showing a screen with pulsing red lines. "The artifact responds to the changes in soil composition. Your farming activities are triggering ancient systems that must remain dormant." Ji-ho felt his dreams crumbling. "So I can't farm here. What about my money? My plans?" Hana looked uncomfortable. We'll need to investigate this claim fully, Mr. Kim. If it's true, the colony will compensate you. Compensation is irrelevant, Kira interrupted. This human must come with me to explain his actions to the council. The disruption has already been reported. Jiho looked at his small house in the distance, at his terraforming machine, and at the patch of soil he had started to transform. One day of work, and somehow he had stumbled into an interstellar incident. I just wanted to grow some vegetables, he said quietly. As night fully covered the land, lights from Kira's ship cast long shadows. Jiho wondered what lay beneath his feet, hidden in the soil, waiting all these years. Whatever it was, it had changed his life forever. Jiho had never left Earth before, let alone traveled on an alien ship. The journey took only hours, but to Jiho, it felt like days. Officer Hana Park sat beside him, no longer wearing her colony. Uniform but formal diplomatic clothes provided by the colony government. Try to stay calm, Hana told him. Remember, you represent all humans now. Jiho almost laughed. I'm a gardener. I know about plants, not politics. The ship stopped, and when they looked out the window, Jiho gasped. They floated near a massive structure that looked like a giant ring in space. Smaller ships moved around it like bees around a hive. The Galactic Council headquarters, Kira explained, entering their room. The council is waiting. Soon they walked through hallways filled with beings of all shapes and sizes. Some looked almost human, others nothing like anything Jiho had seen before. They entered a huge round room with rising seats filled with aliens. In the center was an empty platform. Step onto the platform, Kira instructed. Jiho and Hana did as they were told. A soft light surrounded them, and Jiho felt a strange tingling on his skin. This is a truth field, Kira said. It does not force truth, but it helps the council sense deception. A tall alien with 4 arms stood up. Its voice boomed through the chamber in perfect Korean, though Jiho understood this was some kind of translation technology. This emergency session of the Galactic Council is now in progress. Representative Kira will present evidence regarding human interference with cosmic equilibrium. Kira stepped forward and touched a panel. Above everyone's heads, images appeared of Jiho's land and his terraforming machine. This human, Jiho Kim, was found using primitive technology to alter the molecular structure of soil on planet X372, known to humans as New Sol. The soil sits directly above a Seedkeeper artifact left by the ancients. Murmurs spread through the council chamber. Jiho noticed some aliens looked angry, others worried. Kira continued, "The vibrations from this crude device have already begun activating dormant systems within the artifact. If allowed to continue, this human activity could disrupt the cosmic equilibrium the ancients established." Images appeared showing strange energy readings and what looked like a buried metal object beneath Jiho's land. The humans claim ignorance, but we must consider if this is deliberate. Their species has a history of expansion with little regard for consequences. Hana stepped forward. With respect, we had no knowledge of this artifact. Our surveys showed nothing unusual about this land. The 4-armed alien spoke again. Your surveys are inadequate by council standards. This raises serious concerns about human settlement practices. Now Jiho felt he should speak. I just wanted to grow vegetables, Korean vegetables from Earth. Cabbages, peppers, radishes. I saved for 5 years to buy that land. A small round alien with what looked like hundreds of tiny eyes spoke next. What is the purpose of these vegetables? Jiho blinked in confusion. To eat them. To make food like my grandmother used to make. And this requires changing the fundamental nature of the soil, the alien asked. Well, yes. Earth plants need Earth-like soil. That's all my machine does. Adds nutrients and adjusts the pH balance. Kira interrupted. What the human fails to understand is that these simple changes, as he calls them, create vibrations at exactly the frequency that activates ancient technology. An alien with a long neck and blue skin stood. Is it possible the humans placed their colony there deliberately to access ancient technology? Hana shook her head firmly. Absolutely not. We had no knowledge of any advanced technology beneath the surface. Our colony was established because the planet has similar gravity and atmosphere to Earth. Yet you sell land to private citizens without proper deep scanning? Kira asked. This seems dangerously irresponsible. Jiho felt frustration building. I'm just a gardener. I filled out 20 forms to buy that land. If your artifact is so important, why didn't you tell us about it? The room fell silent. Then the four-armed leader spoke. The location of ancient artifacts is not shared with non-council races. It would be like giving a weapon to a child. Jiho felt his face grow hot. So, we're children to you? Hana put a hand on his arm. Jiho, please. But Jiho couldn't stop. I lost everything I had because you hid information from us, and now you blame me for not knowing? The council members looked at each other. The small, round alien spoke again. The T, human displays typical emotional responses. This supports the theory that their actions were based on ignorance rather than malice. Ignorance can be as dangerous as malice, Kira said. I propose an immediate quarantine of human expansion until a full investigation is completed. Hana stepped forward. A quarantine would devastate our colonies. We've done nothing wrong. The four-armed leader raised its hands for silence. We will vote on temporary measures. Until then, the humans will remain here. As council members, I began discussing among themselves. Hana whispered to Jiho, This is bad. A quarantine could last years. Jiho watched the aliens debating his fate and the fate of all humans, all because he wanted to grow the vegetables his grandmother used to make. He never imagined his small garden would become the center of a galactic dispute. I'm sorry, he said to Hana. I didn't mean to cause trouble. Hana looked at him with tired eyes. None of us did, Jiho. None of us did. The room where Jiho stayed wasn't a prison, but he couldn't leave. It had a bed, a desk, and a window showing a view of space that would have amazed him under different circumstances. Today, it just reminded him how far he was from home. 3 days had passed since the council meeting. They brought him food, let him shower, but told him nothing about what would happen next. To keep busy, Jiho had asked for the soil samples he had collected before leaving his land. Surprisingly, they agreed. Now the small containers of soil sat on his desk. Jiho wasn't a scientist, but he knew soil. His grandmother had taught him to feel it, smell it, even taste it sometimes to know if it was good. As he opened one container, to look at the reddish dirt, he noticed something odd. Tiny blue spots glowed within the soil. That's strange, he muttered. This wasn't glowing before. The blue spots seemed to pulse with the room's lights. Jiho had never seen anything like it. He closed the container, and when he opened it again, minutes later there were more blue spots. The next morning, a human woman arrived at his room. She wore the uniform of the New Soul science team and carried equipment in a large case. I'm Tae Lee, she said, bowing slightly. Xenobiologist. The council sent me to assist you and examine your soil samples. Jiho was relieved to see another, human. Have you heard anything about what's happening, about the quarantine? Tae shook her head. No final decision yet, but I'm here because Officer Park insisted a human scientist should be present during any tests. She noticed the soil containers on the desk. Are those your samples? Yes, but something strange is happening to them. Look. Jiho showed her the glowing blue spots. Tae's eyes widened. She quickly set up a small microscope from her case and prepared a slide with a tiny amount of soil. This is incredible, she whispered, looking through the microscope. The bacteria in your soil samples are responding to the energy field in this facility. Is that bad? Jiho asked. I don't think so. In fact, she adjusted some settings on her equipment. The bacteria are absorbing energy and multiplying, but they're also releasing a different kind of energy pattern. Jiho looked confused. What does that mean? I'm not sure yet, Tae said, but this shouldn't be possible according to what we know about Earth bacteria. They shouldn't interact with alien energy fields at all. While Tae worked with the soil samples, Hana Park was in another part of the council facility. She had requested access to colonial records and was reviewing Jiho's land purchase. T1. More Hana dug, the more confused she became. The land had been owned by 6 different people in the last 2 years, each selling it for a lower price than they bought it. The last owner practically gave it away to Jiho. That made no sense. Land on New Seoul was valuable, and usually increased in price over time. Even stranger, all previous owners had been shell companies, not real people. When Hana tried to trace who really owned these companies, she hit dead. Hence, someone wanted Jiho to have that land, she muttered to herself. But why? Back in Jiho's room, Tae had connected her equipment to the council's database. I need to compare these energy readings with the artifact data, she explained. If I can prove your soil bacteria aren't damaging anything, maybe we can stop this. Quarantine. As data flowed across her screen, Tae suddenly froze. This can't be right. What is it? Jiho asked, leaning forward. According to these readings, your soil bacteria aren't disrupting the artifact's energy field. They're enhancing it, making it stronger, more stable. She looked up at Jiho with wide eyes. This is the opposite of what Kyra claimed. Jiho didn't understand all the science, but he understood enough. So my farming wouldn't have hurt anything? Not only that, Tae said excitedly, it might have helped. These microorganisms seem perfectly designed to interact with the artifact's energy. She paused, thinking, almost as if they evolved that way on purpose. Before they could discuss further, the door opened. Hana walked in, looking troubled. I found something, she said without greeting. Jiho, your land purchase wasn't normal. Someone arranged for you to buy that specific plot. Jiho sat down, hard on his bed. What? Who would do that? I don't know yet, Hana said. But all previous owners were fake companies, and the price kept dropping until you could afford it. Tae looked up from her equipment. Officer Park, I found something too. The bacteria in Earth soil actually strengthen the artifact's energy field rather than disrupt it. Hana's eyes narrowed. So Kira lied to the council, or was mistaken, Tae said carefully. But either way, this changes everything. These bacteria seem specially adapted to work with the artifact. Jiho looked between the two women. So someone wanted me to buy that land, knowing my farming would activate something in the soil? They all fell silent, considering the implications. We need to request another council hearing, Hana finally said. With this new evidence, Jiho nodded, but a new worry filled him. If someone planned this, am I just a pawn in someone's game? No one had an answer for him. Outside the window, the stars continued their silent watch as three humans realized they had stumbled onto something much bigger than a garden. The second council meeting was different from the first. This time, Jiho, Hana, and Tae stood together on the platform. The council members looked tense, especially after reviewing Tae's findings and Hana's investigation. Kira sat apart from the others, face unreadable. The four-armed council leader spoke first. Xenobiologist Tae Lee will present new evidence regarding the human soil samples. Tae stepped forward, nervous but determined. Thank you, Councillor. Her data appeared in the air above them. My tests show that Earth bacteria don't harm the artifact as previously claimed. Instead, they strengthen it. Murmurs spread through the chamber. Furthermore, Tae continued, these microorganisms respond to the artifact in ways that shouldn't be possible unless they were designed to do so. The small round alien with many eyes spoke. Are you suggesting these Earth organisms were engineered? Yes, Tae said simply, and Officer Park has discovered that Jiho was deliberately guided to purchase that specific land. Hana shared her findings about the suspicious property sales. As she spoke, Jiho noticed Kira becoming more agitated. The council leader turned to Kira. Representative, how do you explain these contradictions to your earlier testimony? Before Kira could answer, the doors to the chamber burst open. A tall, elderly alien entered slowly, leaning on a staff. The council members seemed shocked by the interruption. Elder Moro, the leader said with obvious respect. This is unexpected. The old alien looked directly at Jiho. I come because it is time for truth. I have watched this human since he arrived. I have tested his heart. Now I must speak. Jiho felt a strange connection to the ancient being. When Elder Moro spoke again, his voice filled the chamber with authority. 10 million years ago, my ancestors saw that the galaxy was dying. Too many worlds had been stripped of life by careless civilizations. We created a solution, a restoration system hidden on thousands of worlds. Images appeared showing barren planets being transformed into lush, living worlds. But the system needed caretakers, Elder Moro continued, beings who would naturally nurture life rather than exploit it, so we found a promising young world called Earth. Jiho's heart raced as he began to understand. We seeded Earth with special microorganisms designed to evolve alongside the primitive creatures there. These organisms would eventually create beings who loved to grow things, to care for soil, to farm. Elder Moro looked at Jiho. Beings like you, Gardener. You're saying humans were created by your people? Hana asked in disbelief. Not created, Elder Moro corrected. Guided. The potential was already there. We simply helped it along by creating a bond between humans and the life in their soil. Tay stepped forward. That's why Earth bacteria respond to the artifact. They were designed to activate it when humans reached other worlds. Elder Moro nodded. Each artifact contains the knowledge to restore a dying planet. When activated by the right combination of human intention and Earth microorganisms, it begins a planet-wide healing process. Jiho thought of his simple desire to grow his grandmother's vegetables. So my farming would have started this restoration? Yes. Your love for growing things, passed down through generations, is exactly what the system was designed to respond to, Elder Moro explained. The council was in uproar. The four-armed leader raised all hands for silence. If this is true, why were we not informed? Why maintain the fiction that humans are primitive newcomers? Elder Moro pointed his staff at Kira. Ask the Harvester Alliance. They have known the truth for centuries. All eyes turned to Kyra, who stood defiant. The Harvesters have spent millennia perfecting our planetary extraction technologies. If humans activate the restoration protocols, our methods become obsolete. Thousands of worlds we plan to harvest would be protected. The truth hit Jiho like a wave. Some aliens wanted to strip planets of resources. Others had created a system to heal worlds, with humans as unwitting partners. You lied about the artifact being damaged, Hana accused Kira. We tried to keep humans confined to Earth, Kira admitted. When that failed, we monitored colony worlds and prevented settlement near artifacts. But somehow, this gardener slipped. Through our network. The small round alien spoke excitedly. This changes everything. If humans can activate the restoration protocols, we could heal 100 dying worlds within a decade. Elder Moro stepped onto the platform beside Jiho. That was always the plan. Not just to create caretakers, but to create beings who find joy in nurturing life. Jiho thought of his grandmother teaching him to feel the soil between his fingers, to respect every plant, to find happiness in growth. That simple wisdom now seemed part of a grand galactic design. The council leader addressed the chamber. The quarantine proposal is rejected. Instead, I propose a new alliance with humanity. As the council erupted in discussion, Jiho stood quietly, a simple gardener who had accidentally revealed humanity's true purpose among the stars. Jiho knelt in his garden, his hands deep in the warm, dark soil. The sun shone brightly, and birds chirped around him. His small plot, once just a hobby, was now famous across the galaxy. They called it the first restoration cradle. Jiho smiled, remembering how it all began. Years ago, Jiho was a quiet farmer in a small village. He loved his garden, where he grew vegetables and flowers. He didn't know his soil held secrets, tiny microorganisms that could heal broken worlds. Aliens from faraway stars had come to Earth, their planets sick from their own advanced machines. Their soils were dead, their skies gray. They needed help, and Earth's soil was the answer. Jiho's sister, Hana, was a scientist. She discovered a plot against Earth. Some aliens wanted to steal Earth's soil and keep humans weak. Hana worked hard uncovering their lies. She spoke to the Galactic Council, a group of leaders from many planets. With proof in her hands, she showed them Earth's strength. The Council listened, and Hana became Earth's voice among the stars. Back. Home, Jiho's garden became a school. Aliens came to learn from him. His hands, rough from years of digging, taught them how to care for soil. "It's simple," Jiho said. "Love the earth and it will love you back." His students with scales, wings, or glowing skin nodded. They saw how Earth's tiny creatures, worms, bacteria, fungi, worked together to make life grow. These small things ignored by high-tech aliens were the key to fixing their worlds. Jiho's academy grew. Humans became the galaxy's best gardeners. Planets that were once barren bloomed again. Jiho traveled to these worlds, planting seeds and teaching patience. He showed aliens how to listen to the soil, to feel its rhythm. "It's not just dirt," he said. "It's alive." They marveled at how something so basic could be so powerful. Hana, now Earth's ambassador, stood tall in the Galactic Council. She wore a simple robe, but her words carried weight. She spoke of Earth's wisdom, learned from centuries of farming. "Our soil is our teacher," she said. "It's older than our cities, wiser than our machines." The Council agreed. They saw how Earth's humble ways outshone their complex, harmful technologies. One day, Jiho visited a planet called Zorath. Its ground was cracked, its air heavy with dust. The Zorians, tall beings with silver eyes, greeted him. They had built great machines, but their world was dying. Jiho brought a small box of Earth's soil. He mixed it into their land, showing them how to plant seeds and water gently. "Trust the soil," he said. The Zorians watched, unsure. Weeks later, green sprouts pushed through Zorath's dry earth. The Zorians gasped, flowers bloomed, and clean air returned. They thanked Jiho, calling him a miracle worker. He shook his head. "It's not me, it's the soil. It knows what to do." Back on Earth, Jiho's garden was a beacon. Aliens and humans worked side by side, laughing as they dug. The galaxy learned a lesson. The simplest things could be the strongest. Earth's soil, shaped by human hands over generations, held answers no machine could match. Jiho and Hana, once just a farmer and a scientist, had changed the stars. Hana visited Jiho one evening. They sat in his garden, the sky full of twinkling lights. "We did it," Hana said, smiling. Jiho nodded, his hands still dirty from the day's work. "The soil did it," he replied. They looked up, knowing their work was just beginning. Planets waited, and Earth's gardeners were ready. The galaxy was no longer a place of cold machines. It was alive with gardens, each one a piece of Earth's heart. Jiho's academy sent out more teachers, and Hana's voice grew stronger in the council. Together, they showed the universe that wisdom didn't need to be complex. Sometimes, it was as simple as a handful of soil, a seed, and a human's care. As Jiho worked in his garden, he felt the soil's pulse. It was the same pulse he felt on Zorath, on every planet he'd helped. It was the pulse of life, older than any star. He knew Earth's secret was safe, shared with those who respected it. The galaxy was healing, one garden at a time.